I've got this piece of glass that I want to try and turn into a charcoal marble looking top that has got black and white and gold going through it. So because we're working on glass, we have to work in the reverse. So your prominent colours that you want showing must go down first. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be misting my whole glass, and then I'm going to be placing my gold leaf onto that. So I've sprayed it with the mister. I'm just using a small little bottle like that, just to get a wee bit of moisture onto it so the gold leaf will stick into that. I'm just going to be randomly dropping pieces of gold leaf onto the table where they fall and then patting them down. I'm just using a soft paintbrush to pat them down. You can put as many on as you want. So the colours that I'm working with is rich gold, titanium white and Mars black, and I'm using what they call a striping brush, and the other one I've got is also a very thin little brush like that, and that's to do the veins. So I've got my few pieces. I haven't put too many on the table. Sorry about the reflection, but I'm working outside and on glass there's quite a reflection, so I've just put a few pieces in like that. I've decanted my 3 colours onto my palette, and I'm going to be taking the striping brush and I'm going to be starting with the gold. So just loading the paintbrush like that. And now what you want to do is, most marble goes at a 45-degree angle. It's never sort of like straight, so you have to start on whichever side you feel comfortable with. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to line up the gold with the gold, so but not drawing straight lines. So what you do is you hold the brush and then just wiggle the brush so you can get squigglies but not controlled lines. Don't know if you can see that. Then I'm just going to put connecting all the gold pieces with the gold. So I put all my gold stripes or veins in now, and now I'm going to be moving on to the white. So once again, just loading the same little brush. I'm not actually cleaning it because it doesn't matter if it gets a wee bit of gold in it. So just loading my brush again and then putting the white in. So as I said, just put your brush down and just roll it so that you get some really uneven patterns to it. This is one thing that you can't mess up because no matter where you put the pattern, it's going to look good. I've got all the white veins in now, and I'm going to be working on the black ones. I'm just putting them wherever I think that they will look pretty. I'm just putting the black veins and they're interweaving with the gold and the white, so I've got them crossing over in certain places, or they're just going straight in other places. But just to give it a bit of a contrast. So I've got all my veins where I want them to be. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some titanium white and I'm going to water it down because I want to have sort of like soft like cloud in the marble. So as you can see, the paint is really runny, and what I'm going to do now is take a sponge. If you can get a sponge that has got sort of like biggish holes in it, gives a slightly better effect. So I'm just going to put a glove on to do this. So I don't want too much cloud, I just want a little bit, so dip my sponge in, take most of the paint off and just dab, just to create like little bits like that. I'm not doing too many of them, so that's all I'm doing. So I've got one there, one going along the bottom, and one just there in the middle, and a small one here. And now I'm going to wait for all that paint to dry. All the paint is dry now, and now I'm going to be spraying it. So I'm going to be using this gloss metallic charcoal spray paint. Now, normally I do between 3 to 5 coats. That depends on how thick you put your coats down. So depending on how intense you want your colour or how well your paint covers, you have to make up your mind as to how many coats you want to do. So I'm going to be putting the first coat down now, and a very light one. Please wear a mask when you spray painting. So that's the first coat down, and I'll wait for that to dry and then I'll do it in the opposite direction. I've done 2 coats on the table, and as you can see it's covered quite well, so I'm probably only going to do a 3rd coat on this. And this one is quite nice because it gives you different reflections. I don't know whether you can see that, so you get the silver that's coming through there, and then it's got some dark going through. So overall, when you look at it, it looks like it's got its own marble effect without even having to put any of it in. So I'm going to do a 3rd coat now. So I've done 3 coats now, and then I'm just going to wait for that to dry before I flip it over. Quite happy with the coverage, it looks really good. The table's dry now, and I'm going to get somebody to help me lift this and flip it over. I flipped it over, and that's what it looks like. As you can see, it's rather attractive looking. Better than the plain glass that you could see through. Very happy with that result.